Right, brace yourselves because we're going to talk about politics. And I don't usually do that on this channel. So to balance it out, I have worn my silliest t-shirt. We're going to talk about Iran, and not about what's good about it, what's bad about it, where it's going, what's likely to happen next. Those are not my areas of specialization, and there are plenty of experts out there to listen to. I think that the role of culture in this is something that everyone is missing. And as an American living in Europe who has lived in Asia and Africa, this is something that I really see all the parties involved communicating like ships passing in the night. One example is the attacks on Iran really seem to be based on the idea that the leaders of Iran would like to survive. And I think that's based on the fact that American leaders very much want to survive and continue living. What if the Iranian leaders value religious martyrdom and adherence to their values more than their physical life? What might that mean about where this goes next and what bombing strikes could actually force them to do? On the other side, I see a lot of European analysts and reporters talk about the motivations of America to strike Iran. And they completely miss another cultural context, which is that according to a 2022 study, the percentage of Americans who answered the question, "Do you believe we are living in the biblical end times?" was, pause the video to give a guess, fully 40% of Americans who were polled on that question. And I saw an interview from a military commander on a US base in the Middle East saying, "You people don't understand. This is a fulfillment of prophecy to trigger a war in the Middle East that will bring the second coming of Christ." Now, I am not saying that a majority of military commanders or even a majority of Americans see things in that light. But when you have anyone in the discussion and in the decision-making process with such different perspectives of their own values and an ignorance of what the other person's values and priorities might be, then it means that these decisions that affect nations are not taking into account what is the logic and the decision-making process of the person on the other side of that decision. Which means, in my opinion, this is not going to be an issue of weeks or months that has repercussions for years. These are going to be actions that continue for years and have repercussions for decades. What do you think we're missing in this discussion? What do you think is the importance of cultural understanding? And if the topic is interesting to you, well then subscribe to follow the adventure.